How did I go from 0 to 18K in 30 days? I did not change anything in the external world, but instead I went within and I just decided to be the woman who could receive money in her business with little to no effort. And I'm going to share more in depth about how that mindset shift took me from 0 to 18K. But first, hello gorgeous. If you're new, welcome. I am so grateful you're here with me. I am a mindset coach and mentor that focuses on normalizing pleasure in your everyday experiences. I would love to work with you, and when you're ready, the link is in the description box below. So it can be very normalized in our world to make things more complicated than they are, especially when we hear things like we must crawl before we walk, that we have to build success over a course of years, that we have to work very hard before someone can notice our value, or that we have to prove authority in our message. And a lot of that held me back when I first started my business. And I came from a background in corporate where that type of thinking is typically praised. And the very reason why I wanted to leave corporate and start my own business is because I wanted freedom. I wanted the freedom to work when I wanted to, with who I wanted to, and how I wanted to. And when I first started off, I was making money, but it was very inconsistent, or I had to work very hard for it. And one day I honestly just was like, you know what, this isn't working. I felt very exhausted. I was always burnt out, and I did not feel like I was compensated for what I was doing. And so I took a week off, and I just kind of listened to some videos. And it dawned on me that I was still in a space of a woman who was becoming. And I thought to myself, like, at some point, I would have to stand in my power and fully embody the things that I teach. That I could no longer continue trying to be a businesswoman, but that I was her now. I was the businesswoman who makes money every single day. And it was going to be easy for me. That I didn't have to work countless of hours to make this happen. And it was very normal. And so in this particular moment, I did not do any more robotic affirming, stats, journaling, subliminals. And even though I feel those can be very effective techniques that do work and they do help you stay in alignment, I just decided that I was done and that I just wanted to make a full decision, a full body decision that I was her now. Now, prior to making this decision, did I do these techniques? Absolutely. But after a while, I was like, I just need to embody her. And so that sat with me. And I thought to myself, like, this is a woman who's trying, because I am still signing up for business classes because I don't feel like I have enough to offer yet. And I'm still watching success stories to remind me that it's possible. Now, if I was already that businesswoman, I would know that it's possible because I would be the success story. And I didn't need to take any more classes because my embodiment is what would make the sale. And so in that moment of awareness, something shifted on the inside. And I was no longer becoming her. I decided that I was her now. So I went to sleep with that kind of just on my heart. Like, I'm her now. No more trying, no more becoming. It's not a process. It is already done. And that next morning, when I woke up, I was going through my emails and something was just like, check your old mailboxes. And there was an email from an old client who had been contacting me but was unable to reach me because I changed my number. And she wanted to know if I still offered coaching. Now, when I wrote her back, I did think like maybe I should offer her my old prices, because at that time they were very low. And I didn't think people would be willing to pay high prices for my services. And I just thought that I needed to offer everything cheap so that I can get a lot of testimonials and prove my worth before I could raise my prices. Now, this idea came from some videos that I watched online. And I was like, you know what? I don't have to agree with that. So I stood firm. Like, no, I am that businesswoman now. And I sent her the email and I was like, you know what? My new price for my 12-week program is $8,888. And when I sent that email, it felt great because I was just like, you know what? I know someone is willing to pay for this. Because if I think like this, then that means there's someone else who thinks this way too. Needless to say, she wrote back. And she actually referred me to a friend of hers that was excited to work with me. And both of them wanted to know if they could start at the same time. So here's the thing that I want to end this message with. A lot of times we have to let go of trying to force things to work. And we don't need to do more. Okay? You're probably already doing more than enough. You can actually do less. And you can do the same things you're doing now in a different energy. Because there are so many projections that we pick up from others, whether it is intentional or unintentional, that could be closing the door to possible outcomes for us that is easy and effortless. But it is always in our power to make that choice to receive whatever it is we desire and to receive it with ease. So remember, everything is a reflection of what's going on with you, your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits. And so being aware of when you're in the identity of someone who is trying to make something happen versus someone who already knows it's done can create a very powerful shift in your life. So from here on out, walk through life knowing that you're the power, knowing that you create your reality, knowing that you can shift to any state at any moment, to be confident in yourself and your ability to receive whatever it is you desire and to receive it with ease. And you're human, so of course you're going to have moments where you're going to think the opposite. Of course you're going to have moments where your circumstances are showing you something different. But you also always, like I said, you always have the power to get back in alignment and know that it is already done.